Cost efficiency. It's a simple concept, and it's applied a lot in the real world. For example, stores will give you bargain deals because they want you to buy more. Yeah, you don't need 50 bananas, but when you're paying less than you would for an individual banana, it's worth it. This is also something that applies to TDS. Yeah, sure, you don't need to get 20 DPS out of your $1,000, but if you can, why not? Cost per 1k spent is a value that Corso uses a lot in his videos to measure like the cost efficiency of different towers, and I figured why not take that one step further. So I found the cost or DPS per 1k spent for every tower in the game and ranked them, and here's what happened. By the way, speaking of 20 DPS for $1,000, yeah, that's the new Ace Pilot, and when I made this video, this Ace Pilot rework hadn't come out yet. So, the Ace Pilot in the thing is not reworked. Yeah, anyway. So, starting off with the worst towers in the game, I mean, you're probably not surprised, but, it's the two that don't do damage. Farm and DJ have the least DPS per 1k you spend because, yeah. Now, Elf Camp is a bit of an interesting one. This one, right, you see it's the gunner guys. These guys are second worst, by the way, like by far the worst upgrade in the game. But this is because of the fact that Elf Camp, well, if you look at the DPS table on the wiki, there's like different DPSs for all of the separate things, right? So it's like on spawning towers that spawn multiple units, because they have different DPSs, I just split them up into multiple rather than, just keeping them all as the same. So that is why Elf Camp's down here, and the reason why this one specifically is the worst at 0.43 DPS per 1k spent is because it's actually the same range, the snowball elves that you get on level 2. The same guys, but the upgrade just buys you the bomber elves. So you'll see that on a couple towers where it's just like you buy the upgrade for something that isn't DPS, like for example the brawler upgrade where you get like the reposition ability, like that one as well. Like those upgrades are often a lot worse. Here's the thing that's interesting. I did not count ramming damage, or like the damage you get from ramming enemies in these totals, right? So like, for example, on all spawning towers, again, yeah, I guess they kind of got scammed, didn't they? But spawning towers, the ram damage doesn't actually count into their DPS. So for towers like the Rusher, where most of their damage comes from the ram, and they actually don't have a lot of damage, and they're quite expensive and all, yeah, it's not great. Yeah, and another thing, I mean, you see it with Paintballer and also all of the other splash towers. The DPS only calculates for it hitting one enemy, so a lot of splash damage towers are going to do a lot worse just by default. And yeah, pretty much everything in the low 200s is just either towers that are really just terrible, such as Paintballer, or splash towers, such as like Executioner, Electroshocker, Mortar, they're pretty low, or just towers in general that you don't really use for damage, so like Commanders down here, I mean, Electroshocker again, Cryomancer, Medic, there's a bunch of towers that you don't want to use for damage, but are still, I'm using them here because there's War Machine. Yeah, so that is actually max War Machine there, and it does kind of make sense because, when you cost $90,000 for an upgrade, you need to get a lot of DPS back out of it for that to actually be worth. And yeah, none of the stuff this low is really that crazy. Here you've got top 200, we've got Ranger. Ranger is really expensive, so it makes sense that it's not very high. Yeah, level 4 Gold Pyro. A lot of people would think that Gold Pyro is more cost efficient than it is, and technically this is not fully true, this, slide deck that's playing, because it's not actually just based off of, the value that the tower gives itself, it's just the DPS, right? And I mentioned earlier, but a bunch of spread damage towers are way lower than they should be, because like towers like Executioner and stuff are like some of the lowest ranking in the game, just because it's based off of one enemy instead of multiple. And we haven't really seen any towers that are in the top 50 yet. I mean, War Machine, but that's about it. None of these towers are really that good. Which, yeah, that's another thing that I kind of noticed, is that a lot of towers are actually like pretty balanced in the way that like Yeah, like here we see 2 hunters just go by at the same time. A lot of the upgrades on different towers are pretty similar cost efficiency wise. And like one tower has pretty much the same cost efficiency throughout. There's no like large variety other than like the towers with insane, like really good cost efficiency. So yeah, like he's just a turret, and then here's another turret, and then what's after this? It's Ranger. Ranger appeared earlier. You know, there's no big like, all of the towers are kind of in clumps of like how good they are, right? There's only some that like really are like low down and then high up. And Cowboy's another tower that's like really low down. You know, this is the lowest ranking gold tower by a lot. But the thing, yeah, see, there's normal Cowboy. That's another thing. Gold towers, normal towers, they're pretty similar. Like minigunner and gold minigunner's cost efficiency is like almost identical, which is pretty cool to see. You know, a lot of people say like different towers are overpowered, but I feel like, yes, while there are really broken ones, like, you know, hardcore towers are really good, and like brawler and stuff, and DJ's really insane, and this new ace pilot's insane. But overall, most of the towers in this game are like pretty balanced. No, I take that back. Like, I mean, I'm playing Fallen, I'm not even paying attention, and it's like I'm on here. Merc Base actually does have some pretty cost-efficient upgrades, because, for example, like the early level one, the ranger guy or the rifleman, that guy at spawns, he's actually really good. Like, he does a lot of damage for how cheap the like 1.2k upgrade is. And then at level 2 you can spawn, or level 1 you can spawn 2 of the guys, which is just for $1,000, which is also really good. Freezer actually made it pretty high up because it's got a cheap upgrade. A lot of towers that cost really cheap have a higher DPS per 1k spent on that cheap upgrade. Like, for example, the upgrade that a lot of people think of when they think of very cost efficient towers is Gold Scout on level 0. Like, that thing, it's got a lot of DPS for $200. So people often are like, yeah, it's high up there, and it is high up there, but yeah, it might be number 1, who knows. Yo, it's me again, but in the future. Yeah, no, most of this is like pretty boring. There's not a ton going on here, I'm gonna be honest with you. So let's just skip to the top 100, because the top 100 is cool and awesome and epic and pog, and it's really, everyone loves. Hooray! There's a Gold Scout placement. I think this is the lowest down one. And there's Slasher, which, yeah, the first time we see Slasher as well. There's some towers that are really bad that are actually quite cost efficient. Like, I mean, we saw Scout. Slasher is actually high up in like a lot of ways. Accelerator barely breaks top 100 there at level 0. Gold minigunner, and I'm pretty sure there's normal minigunner after this, because again, they are very similar. Yeah, or no, it's just gold minigunner again. Actually, I lied. But now it's normal minigunner. Yeah, maybe I should stop talking. Brawler. So this is the upgrade I was talking about. I mean, I feel like people thought that would be lower down. But level 4 is where it gets the reposition thing. And it's the least cost efficient, down to 97, I think. It might have been something low, a bit lower than that, like 95. Either way, it's like mid 90s for the worst upgrade on that tower. So you can imagine, yeah, he's high up there. Here's another accelerator upgrade. I mean, a lot of people are probably thinking, I think there's people that would like, there's definitely people who would definitely like agree that accelerator might be the most cost efficient tower in the game. And to those people, they probably don't have it. On the last wave, that's crazy. I have not been paying attention to this game and I'm still winning. This new ace pilot is ridiculous. But so's engineer and stuff. So yeah. I don't really have anything to say. Jester. Yeah, I think I could just like tab out of this fully now. Level 1 gladiator. Oh. There's Pyromancer, guys. Isn't that crazy? Wow. And now we got Militant. Military. Wow, guys. These are such cool towers. Yeah, there's level 3 Crook Boss. I mean, that's another upgrade that I think a lot of people think of when they think of cost efficiency, or at least I thought of, was level 3 Gold Crook. Although, to be fair, I was thinking of the old gold crook boss. I haven't really used the new one. Still, level 3 is one of the more cost-efficient upgrades. It's when... Oh, by the way, actually, I didn't say this, like, a while ago. But, gold crook boss did not include the guard damage. I just didn't. I don't really know. And then towers like engineer or mercenary base, for those ones, I did include all of the sentries and all of the guys that it spawns. And now here's the point where we start seeing some of the best towers, I feel. Like, yeah, like here's engineer. I think this is the lowest one. There might have been another engineer that I didn't see. But, and yeah, engineer is just so good. Level 4 gladiator. This is also another upgrade that I think people would think of. Level 4 gladiators, also really good. Level 0 gladiators, another one that's good. I'm pretty sure it's higher up here. There's level 0 merc base that I mentioned earlier. By the way, we're in top 30, right? And I know people are thinking like, oh, well, if we're at 6.6 in top 30, it's probably like, number one's probably like, I don't know, 8 or 9. No, it's 18. Here's Warden. Warden's actually pretty cost efficient, which I don't think a lot of people realize. In general, Warden's just a good tower. Max Gladiator is actually really good as well. You get a lot of DPS out of him. And this is on one enemy as well, by the way. That's not supposed to say level 0. I think that's supposed to say like level 5. You can see I put the upgrade icon there, so that's me making a mistake on Brawler there. 30 now is at level 0 Engineer. Engineer is really good. And you can see the number's already ramping up a lot. We're already at 7. Here's this guy. Shotgunner's another tower that's pretty high up. Level 5 Brawler. Yeah, and here you probably might have thought that was Medic. No, Mecha Base. I think this is one of, if not the lowest Mecha Base placements. It might have appeared earlier. Level 0 Slasher. At number 25. And number 24 is level 1 Slasher. Slasher's actually really cost efficient on its first 2 upgrades, which is pretty cool. Level 1 Gold Scout. I don't remember if level 0 appeared yet. I don't believe it has. There's Mecha Base again. And you're going to start to see the top 20, which is about to come up. Here's Engineer. It is pretty much all the same towers. So we're starting off top 20 with actually the highest placing War Machine upgrade, which is level 5 or 4. I don't remember. I wasn't looking. There's level 0 Gold Scout. Number 17 in the game. A lot of people would like bet real money, I feel. That is the number 1. But no, here's Engineer, actually at max level. Another insanely cost-efficient tower. This is, by the way, I didn't really fully say it because I saw level 0 Gold Scout. Went on a bit of a tangent. It is actually the old Ace Pilot. The new one blows everything out of the water. It's insane. Level 1 Warden. Level 2 Brawler. Here's a Shotgunner coming up at number 12. And yeah, if basically, here we're coming to the top 10 now. If you're not one of like the best towers in the game at this point, you're just done. Like, I don't even... It's just over for you. Because, yeah, starting off with Ace Pilot. Why did they buff this thing? Now we're going to Mecha Base. They really need to... If they're releasing this thing, they need to nerf it. Ace Pilot again. And this is pre-buff. What the hell? Ace Pilot again. At number 7. Oh, there's hiddens. Oh, I remember those. And here's now level 1 Brawler at number 6. At number 5, we have level 3 Mecha Base. Number 4 is level 4 Mecha Base. Okay, so now we're going into the top 3. If you haven't already, in the comments, I guess, put like your guesses or whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. I mean, if you were paying attention, you already know what it is. Because, well, maybe not actually. I don't know if I've showed every upgrade on screen. Whatever. It's probably pretty obvious. I don't know if you can see what tower I'm using here. That might be a bit of a giveaway. But Ace Pilot at level 1. They really shouldn't have buffed it, like, genuinely. I don't even... Level 5 Mecha Base. And number 1, our guy right here. It's level 0 Brawler. Yeah, no, this dude's ridiculous. Like, this is insane. Genuinely. Why is this legal?